the
This
flag
conference will
of the
now be
United States of
recorded.
America,
to the
to
republic
the
for which it
republic for which
stands,
it stands,
one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Feel like we're back in Zoom. Okay, anybody have a chance to read the village board regular meeting minutes for June 21st?
Yes, I'll make the motion to approve.
Any, and second? Second. And any changes or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Minutes are approved. And then village board public hearing and special meeting minutes, June 29th. Any corrections on that?
Janet gave me one typo.
Okay, it's been corrected. And a motion to accept those?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved as well. Okay, item C, revised master capital project agreement. That's a really good name. Mindy, will let you explain what that is and what we got.
So this agreement was once agreed upon prior. It is the agreement between us and New York State Department of Transportation for a grant that we received for sidewalks along the side of our lake. It was a joint grant for $1 million between us and the town. We got 300,000, they got 700,000. When paperwork came out the first time, we got 700,000, they got 300,000. Didn't like that. So we sent it back, and through many phone calls and many swaps, we finally got the revised paperwork. So this just states that we are eligible for reimbursement of $300,000 for the sidewalks. The project's complete. Yes.
But there's a lot of hoops to jump through to get the money.
Yeah. Which I'm still trying to get clarification, because when you go on their site where they tell you to go, it doesn't bring you where you're supposed to go.
So move number one is for us, for this board to pass the resolution. You've got it, and give it a resolution number, and then Mindy and I talked today, so there's one blank there where it says resolved that the sum of 300,000 is hereby appropriated from the, we should type in there, general fund. And then this is actually allowing Brad to sign everything. And we can't change it.
No.
So this would be a part of the documentation that would be needed for the reimbursement.
So how exactly do you want the motion to sound?
I want somebody to make a motion to, is there a resolution number?
Not yet, but okay.
I want somebody to make a motion, or be appropriate for someone to make a motion authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance of the state aid program eligible costs of a capital project and appropriate funds there for as set forth here in this document.
You need to repeat that. I think you should make a motion.
Yes.
And a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
No, Anita, you have to send 5 copies.
Yep.
And all 5 original copies with the above resolution.
the first time, I'll do it.
Okay, and item E is to raise the parking fees in the post office municipal lot. I'm sorry, oh, TCCs. Do we have Kimball here tonight?
No, I was on the email chain.
Okay, so you can take care of that?
Yeah,
Great,
email
okay.
Kimball's recommendation is to not extend them yet again this year. He's made that recommendation to NIPA, and they're on board with it, so we'll have until next year without the TCCs.
Have you had a chance to explain what the TTCs are?
No.
There's a lot of acronyms, you just have to get caught up on.
Yes, and if you ever want a sheet of them, Matt Haggerty from Vegas Fairport created a very nice sheet that has all of them listed.
28 pages long.
No, it's only like 2. In the past, we have purchased TCCs, which are transmission credits. Yeah, consumption credits, I think it's called. And essentially what happens is if our consumption or if there's a lot of congestion, credits, that's better. If there's a lot of congestion, during transmission and our rate goes too high, or, we start drawing more electricity than we have in the past, we pay for these credits and it will it'll compensate for the difference. But for what we were paying out on a monthly basis for TCCs, it didn't equate to
Wasn't it
any
savings?
savings.
Is it
So-
fair to sum it up to say it's like buying an insurance policy, and the insurance rates get so high, it's not worth it, just take a chance?
Essentially, I mean, if we had cold winters, or we knew we would have cold winters consistently, but sometimes it's mild, sometimes it's not quite as cold. You just never know if we're gonna have to buy more power or not have to buy more power. And really, it's the congestion in the transmission. So if everybody's trying to draw power out at the same time because they all have the same issues, that's when they would benefit us. But I think we went back 10 years and they haven't really benefited us much.
There was a wash over that whole period.
Yeah.
And there was a time, I remember back when we first got into this, that if we didn't get in, we couldn't get in later.
Right, so this one, they do a renewal annually, so we have the option to
If we change it.
join at the end.
Okay, so when it says extension, we're not extending it, we're making a motion to not participate in TCC program.
Yeah, essentially, it's just to approve Kimball's decision
Not.
not to.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Passes. Now we can move on to parking fees, municipal parking lot. We're looking to raise it from 75 cents an hour to $1 an hour, which sounds trivial, but we're basically, due to our new shuttle, we're trying to give people more of an incentive to move from the train station parking lot so we can free this up for our daily shoppers on Main Street. Any questions on that?
No questions, but just as a sidebar, you asked me to follow up with, Borda and Haley, and we worked on a sign. I made a sign, I physically put the signs everywhere in the Olympic Center, put it in outhouses, put it everywhere, spoke to every foreman, spoke to every contractor.
So you're trying to say if they get a ticket, they can want
Well, and,
No? All right, well,
But yeah, I told the mayor this morning, or this afternoon at noonish, I went up and there were guys sitting in their cars having their lunch.
and that's what they want.
And I know they were construction workers, they all had their yellow vests on. And I don't know whether they're Orta or Marcy.
well, I go back to what I offered you. So your residents or your shoppers that you want to shop there aren't going to be able to because everyone's parking it up. You want to make it $2 an hour to give them an incentive to leave? What's the pleasure of the board? That's
What's the
reason I-
maximum number of hours they park?
Well,
In that lot?
once we expand our parking hours from 9 to
But
whatever.
that's not the maximum number of
No,
hours.
we haven't set a maximum. I don't think there is a.
No,
It is
it's
on the
8
street.
hours.
Yeah,
It's 8 hours in the lot
it's 8
for
hours.
people who work. That's why we did 8 hours on the street,
Yeah,
Oh, I see what you're
2
saying.
hours,
2 hour max.
2 hours on the street.
Yeah. But there again, even if it was in the lot, it was a 2 hour max, you just get it, pull in another spot, and pay again.
If it's just fun.
True. And the swap.
But I'm just saying,
coworkers.
the workers apparently have chosen to pay.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
Well, and from what I've been told, they get an allotment for parking, so it's not like it's coming out of their pocket. It's just before it was going in their pocket.
How much enforcement is there? Two guys walking around?
Oh, yeah.
But don't forget too, we also have foot patrolmen sporadically going around.
Mhm.
But I haven't seen the foot patrolman. I mean, maybe it's a missing.
They are, I mean, you know, it's sporadic when they've got time, but it just gives you that element, so you
And
don't
something
know.
at 5 different times, twice on the street when we were driving down the street, and then directing traffic, and then twice in the truck.
We were having trouble loading, I talked to for a while, and we were having trouble loading once today, on the street, so a lot of loading tickets.
Well, he keeps track, it's like a game for him. See how
60
many-
less parking spots now. even more.
Okay, so we're talking about going from 75 to $1. That is the board's pleasure. I mean, we can always raise it again in 2 weeks if we want just another sign, if things, if we really feel we need to. And you guys have a meeting, when's your next business association meeting?
Tuesday.
Bring it up, see what their opinion is, we can always change it. And I guess if we really needed to, if the Main Street merchants really wanted that, we could always have a special meeting, so.
So then that's easy to do.
Yeah, Todd came up and showed me how to modify the tariffs. So when we go to change the time, he's gonna have to log in and show me how to do that portion of it. Cause I don't have access to it right now. He has given me access to it. But as far as the dollar amounts go, it's really simple, as I'll probably quote it. Yep. But it's coded by color depending upon which area you're in. So the block lot's one color, the municipal lot's another color, and then it's set up by rate within those areas.
Can someone make the motion?
I'll make the motion to raise.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass. Forgot you were there, Jason, sorry about that.
I'm used to it, Dory.
Okay, item F, water treatment grade 1 advanced operation class, Troy, New York. Tom, Dan,
Van Bention.
thank you. Okay. Jason, and
And
okay.
And they're gonna drive back and forth.
They will, I checked on that, and Jason said it'll be tough, but this is really important.
No, I
for
think
their-
that it's important. Is that what they wanna do?
I think there's not much choice just because of the way it's set up.
I know, it's Monday, Wednesday, and
Plus,
Thursday.
and it's in the afternoons, they're working in the mornings, so it's just the only option.
Well, they're the only two people besides Carol and Stewart, and Stewart's generally down the water treatment plant anyways.
Thank you very much for the reference.
Down there, they'll take turns.
Do I have a motion?
So,
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I thought we had passed this week. Rita says we haven't yet. Betsy Owen, Terry Laughlin Memorial Swim, August 14th. I guess it's been going for how many years?
A number.
A long time. Can I have a motion to approve their swim?
I'll make the
So
motion.
moved. Sorry. I
You got
tried.
yours in a second, Jason.
All right, that works. I just want to feel like include
That's the tough one. It's hard to get it in there, isn't it? Okay,
Go around.
all in favor?
Aye.
Approved as well. Would you like to set a public hearing for us?
Sure. So there will be a public hearing to expand the parking hours at the beginning of the next board meeting, so that is Monday, July 19th at 5 p.m.
Great.
Put it out in the papers.
There's nothing we have to do on that at this point, we just announce.
No, and Art has a copy of it.
Okay, yeah, so I'll make sure it's
I'll make sure I get it.
disseminated. Yep.
I mean, we're gonna do the handicap and loading zone fines, we're gonna change all that.
Yeah, actually, when the meeting's in time, yeah.
That won't be something.
We didn't have it in the, on the agenda for the meeting, I didn't want to put it in without the public having a chance to know what's coming. So we'll take care of it all at once. Okay, anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Janet?
I don't have anything for right now.
Okay.
But I think we need an executive session to discuss the litigation.
Yeah, no, okay, we'll be there, and as far as treasury items go, we have the warrants to approve. Okay. Did Jackie come?
Of course.
There was a land use committee meeting, so I was.
Thank you for
It's
your
a
efforts.
little one.
Motion to approve warrant affidavit number 22.
so
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Warrant's passed. Thank you very much, Jackie. I have no new business or old business. Oops, sorry.
Sorry, I forgot that it needed to go before the board. We did the sewer only re-levies, because we weren't allowed to re-levy water for this tax season, so I always bring the register. And you guys approve that they go on the taxes.
And then,
Okay, so,
So I think you have to make a motion.
that's no business, right?
No, just on the treasurer.
The treasurer.
so the motion you want is just.
To approve the billings to go onto the tax.
Jason,
Approve re-levy.
second? All in favor?
How much longer do people have to come in and, okay, it's done?
Okay, now, anything else? Right, jump off. Anything under new business coming before the board?
Mayor, I apologize. I should have messaged you. I was taking care of my not so feeling well son today. And I'm
Hang on a
not-
second, I'm turning you off.
What's that?
Try again.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm not feeling that great either. That's why I didn't show up. I remoted in. But did the county touch base with you regarding the trolley authorizing us with the device so we can start moving forward with putting up the QR code so people can track the trolley, the dedicated line?
I have not heard from them.
Okay. So Patrick has a mock-up. I'm going to have them laminated, so whenever you give us the thumbs up, we can start moving forward with that. Whenever.
Okay, can you know what that's all about? I just remind you. It's the QR code for the trolley. We just need to coordinate with the county after they make their announcement.
Okay, will do, Jason, thanks.
Okay, anything, old business?
I have one item, Mayor, I have the final agreement between the town and the village for the easement that we need from them in the main parking lot.
Okay,
You might recall that it was done a long time ago, but it needed to be amended recently to add the electric portion, now putting in that. So probably should be a motion authorizing you to sign the easement agreement between the town of North Elba and the village of Lake Placid for a perpetual easement to allow for the installation, repair, replacement, maintenance of the new stormwater sewer system that's going in that portion of the parking lot that's their property, and the new electric service that's going to go in the same trench. It's been signed by Jay, and you signed it, but we don't have a motion.
okay. So, second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Nothing tonight under mayor items, anything under commission reports?
The land use code committee met today to just review, last week's, I don't want to call it public hearing, and the Shore Owners Association brought up some issues and we addressed them, and I think we finalized something we'll be going to the town and the village with our proposal.
Good, great, moving along. Any more movement on, Allen Way?
Yes, yes, reached out. One question was if we did, Bob and Denny, Gloria might have to be involved. Bill, Chief is going to reach out to 911, to see if we can split it, and then,
Can you not just call it Allen Way?
Yeah.
no,
It's already used,
Oh, is it?
it's not already used,
but it's
It's
confusingly similar.
confusing, that is correct. And he just wants to make sure with 911, and then, because the school uses that address, I would just have to go to the post office and say, is it okay? So,
So what are you proposing that your name would be?
Well, I'm gonna go back to Ed and say, could we make the recommendation that we are proposing the name change for the contributions that Bob and Denny made to hockey?
Who's that?
Ed Finnerty is the gentleman who made the proposal to change that. So,
So what would the final name on the street be then?
Alan Way.
Oh, we'll still over.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. That kind of covers
But
everything.
yes, unless you all feel that maybe, we should include Gloria. She made,
She's an ally.
But I was just gonna
Yes,
say, it does include her, so.
well, it does, that's right. Then we'll call it Alan Way and then, think about whatever you want.
No, okay, so at this point, then you're just going to touch base with school.
Yep.
Great, okay. Anything else under commissioner reports? Has anyone seen the granite in front of Dancing Bear?
Mhm.
It really sets that building off, doesn't
Well, even the sidewalk coming down there and I
it? Charcoal,
beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I didn't pick that color, you know, I think it's really good.
It sets it off nice with the contrasting curving.
And the white granite also doesn't look bad where we have cement, the crosswalks, it blends right in, it's nice.
Yeah, one main park looks phenomenal.
Which are the streets,
I know, yeah, wait.
class up the street.
The only thing, did anybody notice when we had that rain, there seemed to have been a low spot in front of the Black Bear? But is that gonna get fixed? Yeah, that's what I thought.
But in the meantime, the pavement will drain properly, but in the meantime, they're going to cut a little trench so it'll drain out. Just hasn't been done.
It's been brand new.
Right in front of those stores?
Nice to see you.
Hello.
Any questions?
I do have a couple. So I just, before this was at the town's workshop, they were talking about the shuttle a little bit, how it's kind of light ridership so far. I know it's a couple days in, so it's not, it's a couple days. But is there an avenue that the village has set up that you can collect somehow information on why people might not be taking it and adjust the service?
Yeah, I think at this point, we want to at least give it a week or two to get people engaged. And like, say, we'll find out, as Jackie said, if the employees are going to ride it or not, and if not, we'll hope to keep improving our signage if it needs it to direct people that want to shop in the street park down there.
You can definitely notice it now coming in from Wilmington side, big side.
Oh, I saw Torrance Hill, too, yeah.
Hopefully it'll work out. I mean, if it turns out that nobody wants to use it, we gave it a try and it did allow for Berkey to keep going and hopefully shorten our construction season down by a year. So I guess we'll have to reevaluate again in July.
Do we know if the employees are using it?
Berkey never used the parking lot. They were all parking over here at the staging area. Yes, they were never part of the parking issue.
Okay, and I just wanted to follow up on the decision from the village and the town last week or the week before maybe to kind of roll back the vaccine requirement with all our events. I'm curious about the timing of that, why it came at that time, not earlier. Was it just because of the ending of the state of emergency or were there other factors that went into it?
Well, the state of emergency and then the state also relaxed its requirements. And as a result, we felt that it was time to review our requirements. And we didn't feel completely comfortable ending the requirements. So that was our compromise.
Okay, and you probably told me about this before, but if you could refresh my memory, what are the proposed changes to the loading zone and the handicap spaces that Mr. Holby?
Are you talking about the fees or what they're going to be at the end of construction?
Well, you mentioned earlier something about loading zones and handicap spaces being kind of looped into this other change.
Yes.
Fines we're talking about.
Fines, okay.
At this point, people are finding it cheaper to just pay the fine and park where they want, and we're just trying to parking enforcement is only done to make it fair for everyone so they can have a place to park and turn parking places over, and people are finding the rates so low that they're just saying, who cares, take a chance on a ticket, pay the fine. So in some cases where it was 25, we're looking to raise it to 50 so that we can get them to pay the meter and not be there when they don't need to.
Incentivize compliance.
But we do have a few different fees. Like I say, we've been talking about it, and we just didn't put it on the agenda this week. I didn't feel comfortable not having it out for public to see on Friday before we talked about it. So we will get something out before next week.
Okay, so that's separate from the extended parking hours, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But due to the fact that there are certain things that we can do without going to a public hearing and making a law change.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask, I wanted to go back, ask the mayor. The board unanimously supported the relaxing, going to 3 days, negative test prior or vaccination. I just want to kind of confirm that if things seem to kind of get out of whack, the board itself will revisit that, because we want to make sure that we're keeping our residents safe and we can open our schools. But we don't foresee that, but that's the sense I got from previous when we had the conversation.
At any time we see things really changing, like this Delta variant, and of course we'll be watching to see what the county and the state have to say. But you know, at any time we can revise anything we're doing.
Yeah, that's the sense I received when I was talking to you and from Jackie, is that if we're all in support, however, we're going to be hyper vigilant, and if anything seems to kind of go sideways, village board will be proactive about that. Yeah.
Let's hope things keep going forward. Anything else?
I was gonna say no, unless there's any update since I last talked to you guys about the marijuana legislation.
Not yet. We're still trying to work out the details. Big decision, big problems, as you can see, trying to get it right.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah.
And aside to that, I learned that marijuana is the industry would like it to be referred to as cannabis, because marijuana has some sort of cultural slang that's negative to I think Mexican or Latino descent. I just throwing that out there.
Oh, it's not.
Don't call them fools then either.
Why? Who's that? And the Irish?
Yes.
Okay. If there's no other questions, we'll go
sorry.
we're calling for an executive session tonight. So I guess at this point we need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
Regarding litigation.
To discuss litigation, and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Been fun, been real. I don't need to be here for this.
Enjoy the sunshine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.